And there's one last secret setting. It's the secret conductivity test. I call it the love test. There are no units for this. It's a secret setting. And what does it look like? Let me show you. If you notice on the dial, there's only one last quadrant we didn't use. There's volts. This is off when you're not using it to save the meter. There's ohms, there's amps. The last one is this little thing that looks like a speaker. On some multimeters, there we go. It looks like a little musical note there, and then you guys will do it later. This one is called the conductivity test. It's super helpful. What it tells you is that there is a contact between the positive and negative terminal of the meter. So listen carefully. You guys hear that? That means it's conducting. And here's why this is helpful. Mr. Lau's wedding ring. It's supposed to be white gold. What do you know about white gold? It should be a good what? Good conductor. So how can I figure out if the missus is scamming me or not? I could check to see if it what? If it conducts. If it doesn't, it's some plastic piece of junk. She loves me not. Oh, she loves me. Oh, love is in the air. There we go. Now some of you guys, your jewelry will not conduct. Don't get mad at grandma or your aunt or whatever. What it is sometimes they'll coat your jewelry with a plastic coating to prevent corrosion. So why is this helpful? At home, you might have a bad wire in your house, or you might have like a light bulb that's loose. Or for example, during lab, you're gonna hook up one of your circuits and you'll be like, Mr. Lau, my light bulb's burned out, and you'll wanna throw it away. Before I have you change out your light bulb and pitch it, I'm gonna say, prove it to me, and here's how you're gonna prove it. Anybody know the old-fashioned trick to check if a light bulb is bad or a Christmas light bulb? You just hold it up to you and you shake it because there's a little wire in there called the filament. That filament is wired to the side of the socket and to the very bottom tip there, right? So how could I prove that this light bulb isn't burned out? I could touch one probe to the side and one to the what? To the bottom. You guys hear that? If it was burned out, it wouldn't beep. Here's another thing. During our lab, we're going to spend, again, 5 or 6 days on the circuit boards. Some of you guys are going to get super frustrated because you'll be like, man, I hook up the circuit perfect and the light bulb's not lighting up. And all it is when you screw this into the socket, it's wired so that it touches the top and bottom spring here. And notice it's not beeping because I didn't screw it in all the way. So it's not making contact. So that's a good way to check the wiring inside your house, for a car, etc. there. So, little story, I helped put in a remote starter once for my sister's car. She went to medical school at the University of Iowa. It's really cold in the winter. And you can buy one of those starter kits, like I'm talking about the keychain thingy, where you push it and it starts the car. And I was reading the directions, and you have to actually cut the starter wire for the car. And there's a certain point where it says, warning, once you cut the yellow wire, your car will not start. So make sure you know what you're doing. Unfortunately, the directions did not match what was in her car. It said, red wire, black wire, yellow wire. When I looked inside her car, she had like a blue wire, a green wire, and like a purple wire, because it really doesn't matter the color. So luckily, one of my friends had put in a remote starter before, and he really knew what he was doing, because I almost cut the wrong wire, and her car wouldn't start. And then, at first it didn't work right, and all it was is we didn't connect the remote starter tight all the way, and we could use a conductivity tester to see if the screw to the contact wire was put in tight. So it's just a really useful tool to have, the conductivity tester. So on your chart, the dial setting is going to go into the thing that looks like a speaker, or it might look like a musical note, depending on your multimeter, and it's still on the volt ohm setting.